Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
More restrictions could be coming to massage therapy businesses in Moorhead. It's an attempt to crack down on backdoor crimes that could come out of some of these businesses. Thanks for joining us tonight. Moorhead police are concerned about the growing problem of prostitution and sex trafficking. They're pushing for new rules in the city that would require massage therapists to provide a proof of citizenship and require them to live within 100 miles of where the business is located. Police say the majority of massage therapists in the area are legitimate, but they don't want anyone to slip through the cracks. A local woman who teaches massage therapy says she doesn't believe the problem will ever go away. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson shows us how those in the industry deal with the stigma.
Therapy, bottom line is very intimate.
Getting a massage, some can get the wrong idea of what's acceptable. That's why they train for it at Joseph's West Academy.
It's a lot of classroom time, a lot of book learning.
Christine Hovel-Madsen teaches students to set a professional climate as soon as they enter a room with a client.
If a client does potentially cross the line, we do train them in the different scenarios so they know how they need to react so they're not put in those tough situations.
Learning proper vocabulary like saying quads, not buttocks, or table, not bed, and going by the name massage therapist, not masseuse.
Setting that boundary right away with the client so they don't feel like it's okay to do that also.
Hovel-Madsen says teaching students boundaries won't end prostitution relating to massage because there are businesses offering it. And she's all for Minnesota having stricter regulations.
City like Dilworth, to my knowledge, they don't have any regulations.
Pointing out North Dakota has some of the toughest requirements. There's even a board that inspects salons a couple times a year.
And they don't actually have a set Minnesota State Board of Massage, whereas we have the North Dakota State Board of Massage.
While Hovel-Madsen says improving standards would help, she doesn't believe prostitution will ever end in the massage world. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Now, when you're looking for a massage therapist, Hovel-Madsen says look for a posted license that's renewed and up to date. And when in doubt, get a recommendation from a friend. To our weather now. Hope you bundled up out there. It is bitterly cold, even though the skies are pretty clear, sunshine. Let's talk to Hutch to see if we'll get any relief tonight. Hutch?
Well, when you drop down as cold as we did this morning, that sunshine has a lot of work to do to try to catch those temperatures up in the afternoon. Well, it's been cold all day, below zero. Looking at the satellite, we do see that we're clear, and what you're seeing there with all the white is the snow on the ground, and it is this snow that will help temperatures rapidly fall tonight. When winds decrease and the skies are clear, we really have an opportunity to get cold fast. We're going to see by the time we get to the 10 o'clock show, temperatures dipping down possibly into the teens below zero for some. Overnight will certainly be in the teens, and this will be Fargo's coldest night of the season thus far. So far, we've hit 17 below, but I think we'll outdo that overnight tonight. So make sure you have that survival kit. Dangerous cold out there. Wind chill advisory for all areas. I just want to make a note. We're not expecting a lot of gusty wind tonight, but the air temperature is so cold that even a little bit of wind causes these dangerous wind chills, causing frostbite in less than 30 minutes.
It's dangerous out there, so bundle up.
Bundle up.
All right, thanks, Hutch. State, local, and Air Force officials signed off on an agreement today building the Grand Sky Technology Park at the Grand Forest Air Force Base. The 117-acre park will house companies devoted to research and development of drones, otherwise known as unmanned aircraft systems. Officials say the technology park could one day create as many 3,000 jobs.
Continue to develop all these aspects of unmanned aerial systems, then the companies that manufacture all the various components want to come and be part of it. That's the idea here.
Construction scheduled to begin this spring. Grand Sky will also be the first commercial drone aircraft airport in the country while using the runways of the air base. Well, it's been a long-awaited investigation after the death of a Fergus Falls City Council member in December. A state patrol investigations determined 52-year-old Timothy Rudquist's death was a suicide. According to the patrol, Rudquist intentionally drove his car head-on into an Ashby police car along Highway 59 near Elbow Lake. Investigators say Rudquist was about to lose one of his part-time jobs as a Stevens County assistant attorney. They say that he was also depressed. An autopsy found no drugs or alcohol in his system when he died. Rudquist was also a business law professor at MSUM. And an effort to being able to reduce suicide rates in North Dakota, the State Department of Health wants to teach people how to recognize the warning signs. In recent years, suicide numbers are on the rise both nationally and in the state. In 2013, there were 138 deaths in North Dakota, and in 2012, there were more than 40,000 nationwide. 2 free community education programs are going to be offered in the state. To find a program near you, you can call the number on your screen. And coming up on Valley News Live at 6, we take a deeper look at just how important these suicide prevention efforts are. The Keystone Pipeline bill has now passed the House and the Senate, and though it passed with bipartisan support, only 9 Democrats supported the bill. Valley News Live Washington correspondent Alex Miller talked to some of the Democrats about how they feel crossing party lines.
The Keystone Pipeline bill has been supported by Republicans for years, but in the last session of Congress, they were in the minority, unable to garner the Democratic votes needed to pass the bill. But this time, magic number 9 did the trick.
You're used to hearing Republicans supporting Keystone.
It really is about building an energy future for this country.
But it's the Democrats who moved the bill through Congress.
We couldn't pass the bill without Democrats.
Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota has been one of the strongest supporters of the pipeline, Democrat or Republican.
This is not a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan issue.
It was her job to bring over her fellow Dems, many of whom had concerns about Keystone and the environment.
I didn't feel like I was fighting a partisan battle as much as I felt like I was trying to fight this notion that this has something to do with carbon.
Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia says he crossed party lines because the bill makes sense for America.
Why wouldn't you buy from the best trading partner you have and your best ally and your best friend? We already buy an awful lot from Canada already.
The senators, along with Senator Joe Donnelly of Indiana, agreed that national security is an important reason for the pipeline. Now that the bill has passed, the senator said in a statement that he hopes, quote, President Obama will sign this legislation into law to end the long delay and move this important project forward. While both Senators Heitkamp and Manchin acknowledge the president will likely veto the bill because he doesn't like how the process was handled, they hope he won't.
We have a great piece of legislation. We would hope that the president would look at it on its merits.
I want there to be agreement that the pipeline should move forward.
From the Valley News Live Washington Bureau, I'm Alex Miller.
Now, this bill hasn't hit the president's desk just yet. It was approved last week, but Congress is likely waiting until they return from recess to send it to the White House. And once the bill gets to the Oval Office, the president will have 10 days to sign it. Steps are beginning toward more parking in the city of Fargo. Today, consultants talked and came to talk about beginning plans down there. The hope is to add at least 1 parking ramp, and 5 possible locations are under construction. The locations vary. Some are owned by the city, others are privately owned. The ramp would be multi-level and could hold 300 to 600 spots, but it could take 2 years before any ramp is built. A chilly day to kick off the start of the Lent season. Today is Ash Wednesday for Christians all across the valley. Members of the gathering braved the bitter cold to share a blessing with the community. Lent's a time for reflection and recommitment. Ashes were put on people's foreheads in the sign of the cross. The gathering is also hosting a pub talk tonight at 7 at the Beefsteak Club to connect Ash Wednesday to current events. And just a reminder, Fridays are no meat days, and Valley News Live will keep track of the areas that are holding fish fries all throughout the Lent season. And if you know of a fish fry going on in the Valley, let us know. Send us your information on our Valley News Live Facebook page. Just search Valley News Live and like our page. A rich tradition in the Valley dating back to 1999 is starting back up this weekend. It's the spring snow goose hunt. The season typically starts around mid-February. It's a chance to catch the geese as they return home from winter.
And the whole purpose for the spring snow goose conservation season is to reduce the pre-nesting population of snow geese.
And if you're itching to begin the hunt, there's some paperwork that you can fill out while you wait. Non-residents will have to pay a fee of $50 to get their license. Residents, you can use your old license, but you will need a new one on April 1st. Hunters will also need an HIP number. That's a Harvest Information Program number. Still ahead for us tonight, Dr. Seuss fans are rejoicing. The new book that's coming out from the famed author.
We're expecting our coldest night of the season, but could we just get back to normal temperatures for this time of the year? Yes, there's a chance at 25 degrees or better as we head out toward the end of the week. Details on that and some snow in your forecast next.